Welcome everybody to our Bee Guards podcast. We're really back again. This is within a month's podcast number 4 that we're doing. And today I'm sitting in the airport of Copenhagen. We always have those special locations that we are making, and we try to make our podcast in between. And we have had the luck here in Denmark that we have had a workshop with Ralph Büchler, who is sitting in our advisory board of the Bee Guard project. And he's on the way home now, and we just found half an hour where we can talk about exciting things. And Ralph, we had 2 great days, and the subject was really how can we start varroa-resistance in Denmark, and that's really your subject. First of all, please introduce you a little bit better than I could do right now. Who are you actually?
Okay, yeah, good morning everybody. And yes, nice to sit here and to discuss. So my personal background, I'm a beekeeper since my very young days. And then I started...
So you have the passion?
Yeah, the passion is there and is still there after 60 years, let me say, nearly, with bees. But then I got the chance to study agriculture and biology, and there was a specialized institute for honeybees and pollination and those things at the university in Bonn, and that gave me a unique chance to come in touch with bee research work. And I did my PhD at this institute later on, and actually it was the first study in Europe about are there any differences in mite susceptibility of European honeybee subspecies. So it was an interesting task. We had quite a lot of colonies at that time to be tested for different characters. And at that time, I mean, it was mid of the 80s, people did not know too much about resistant characters. And then we found some interesting aspects, and a colleague of mine was working at the same time in Thailand to compare Apis mellifera, Apis cerana, to better understand how is resistance acting in cerana. And he was actually the first who noticed that there is VSH, so varroa-sensitive hygiene, in cerana. And immediately we picked up this aspect and started to test European bees for VSH and saw there's something in. So that were the early time. And then I was happy after finishing with the PhD work at Bonn University. I got a chance to move to Kirchhain.
What year are we in now?
In 1990.
Exactly.
In 1990, I came to the institute in Kirchhain, which is one of the practical bee institutes in Germany. So we have 7 institutes like this all over the country. And the main duty is to educate beekeepers, give training courses, do honey analysis and disease analysis and those things. But beside that, the most interesting option is you have 300, 400 colonies for investigations. And we did a lot of research work then on genetics on one side, but also colony management. And we had a great team at the Institute, and more we got involved in international projects. So at the end, we run quite a number of interesting research projects like the Smart Bees project, which you may know, or the Your Best study. So things which can be used when the Bee Guards project was designed and where you already have some results at hand which you can build on. So I got old and I'm retired now since 3 years' time. So I was not able to join any longer in Bee Guards, but I was very happy to see that this project could start it, because I think it really meets recent needs of apiculture in Europe. We clearly see we can't go on as we did the last decades with a lot of chemical treatments on the beehives against varroa. So far, we mainly fight against varroa, but we see Tropilelaps is coming. we notice that there's climatic change, which affects heavily bee populations, of course. Also wild living bee populations. And so beekeepers face a lot of challenges. And even in the economical side of commercial bee production in Europe, it's difficult times. So there are many aspects which have to be improved, and Bee Guards, I think, is meeting many of those important aspects. So I'm very happy to help a little bit in the program of this, and because I have more time now. Yeah. But I'm still involved and interested in the scientific work. I'm happy to join the advisory board of the project and to follow what the younger colleagues are doing there. And we recently had this annual meeting in Essence, and for me it was a good chance to get a full overview what is going on, what was achieved so far, and besides some smaller aspects which may be discussed, I was deeply impressed on how active this group is, what you could work out so far, and I appreciate also that you try to go to the beekeeping community with your social activities, social media activities and podcasts and all those things. So happy to be here today and get the chance to discuss with you. And before I stop my long speech,
it's very nice.
Let me say I'm still very much involved in practical beekeeping. Yes. I use my higher flexibility since I'm retired to increase the private number of hives. Happy to be a registered queen breeder now in Germany, and this involves that I run my own performance test yard and keep about 25 colonies now, which is not too much. I can well manage this, but with all the testing what we are doing within the selection program for varroa-resistant, it's quite some work, and I take it serious, and I started to inseminate my own queens and those things, and really like this very much. And before we had always professional beekeeping staff at the institute who did all this testing work, and I was just discussing with the people and could outline new methods. And from time to time, of course, I was with my own hands at the hives, but it were on rare occasions. And now I'm working on those hives every day and can follow the whole development. And it gives me a much deeper look inside the colonies, and it's fascinating. And I really love to see the differences which are there. So the genetic background, and if then with the own selection work, and we are doing this in group, we have good exchange of queens in our regional AGT breeder group. So this
you have to explain a little bit the AGT tolerance sock. That would be really nice. It's kind of the beginning of the whole story, isn't it?
Okay, it's at least it's an important aspect. Yeah, okay. AGT means Arbeitsgemeinschaft Toleranzzucht. It was founded, I guess, in 2003 from a group of breeders in Germany who said, well, if we really want to improve traits like varroa-resistance, we have to develop a long-lasting breeding program, and we have to cooperate with each other, because a single breeder with his 30 or 50 or even 100 test colonies cannot really achieve big progress over a long period. It needs bigger populations. So we wanted to bring together at least 1,000 performance test colonies a year, and we started with about 40, 50 people at that time. Also, the Bee Institute in Kirchhain played an active role in this. And in the meantime, the association has grown to nearly 400 members. We have our method book, which got a kind of paste and copy.
It's a background. It's a background for other groups,
breeder associations as well, and we included characters of varroa-resistance, and much of the methodology can now be read in the new book, which we just published, so Sustainable Honeybee Breeding. And this comes out of a European or international group of experts, even some colleagues from North America are involved. And
we will be linking to the homepage and to the book in the text below this podcast.
But many of the basic ideas are well presented there, together with the practical methodology. So it's really a working book also for beekeepers and breeders. And yeah, as I said, so AGT is for Germany really important player now in the field of breeding. And I'm happy to be active member there. So we are organized in 11 regional groups. So to bring together, let me say, 20, 30, sometimes 40 breeders who live close to each other, so that they can meet several times a year. They visit each other on their apiaries, so they check together the colonies to standardize the methodology. They have a planful exchange of breeding stock among each other, so that the testing of the next generation is in several hands. So a group of sister queen is distributed on at least 3 test apiaries. And on the other side, on each test apiary, you have at least 3 different lines of queens to be compared. And after full season testing, all the data are put together and they go to a central database. This is a bee-breed system, which colleagues at the institute in Hohen-Neuendorf, close to Berlin, run like a service for the beekeeping community. And so we put together all the pedigree information and all the phenological data which we collect on those hives. And this allows us for breeding value estimation, which does not only regard the individual results of a specific colony, but see it together with the information which we collect from all the related colonies, all sister colonies, all the colonies which were mated on the same mating station, for example, and also the parent generation and the grandparent generation. So it's really a huge database, and this allows us to very well separate what are effects from the environment and the specific apiary and those things from genetic aspects. And this helps a lot in optimizing the analysis of what you have seen in the field with regard to what are the better genetic players in the game. And so you have a very good selection basis. And we see by now from the results, which go back over the last 20 years, that we have a much steeper increase of our breeding values. And we clearly see nowadays that we achieved much higher resistance level also in those bees, which are still highly productive and gentle and nice bees for beekeepers. But at the same time, there's a very significant increase in resistance. And if I may come back, we had this European-wide study, which under the title Your Best.
Your Best, yes.
It was mandated by the European Commission because people in Brussels wanted to see what is the recent status of resistance in European honeybees against varroa, and is it really a reliable way to achieve or to reduce colony losses and to increase the economic success of commercial beekeepers in Europe. So we carefully checked the whole structure of breeding in Europe, compared different countries and so on. And as a central part of the study, we had a 1-year testing of 20 different lines from different European sources. All of them are in one way or the other pre-selected for resistance. So in some cases, beekeepers proclaimed, well, we saw those bees surviving in the wild since at least 2 or 3 generations. And some other cases came from these very selective breeding programs, which were running over a long period. At the end, what we saw after 1 year testing without any kind of chemical treatment and measuring then the final mite infestation, that in fact there were some lines which on average with all the colonies tested remained far below the critical threshold of 3% bee infestation in summertime. And that was great. I mean, we could really show there are some lines which express a high degree of resistance. And very interesting for the work of AGT, we had 2 lines from AGT and a third one from Austria, which were selected under a similar scheme. And all of them did very well. And 2 of those lines were the lowest all over Europe. So very impressive.
And they did very well on all parameters. It was not just resistance.
No, they were also very good in productive aspects and easy to keep for beekeepers because low swarming tendency, gentle bees, and did very well with varroa. And of course, many of the lines did not fulfill the expectations. So they had high infestation levels, some of them even higher than 10% bee infestation. So you clearly see the genetic effect and the difference, but you also see with a planful breeding program and realistic time approach, you can achieve good progress. And it's not an easy thing to achieve. It's not just to say, well, after 2 or 3 generations, I have resistant stock. We have to be realistic. But if we go on this continuous selection path and always have mite development in the hives as a core parameter in view, we can develop bees which do very well without treatment against varroa. And if we do so with varroa, we are motivated to use the same approach for other challenges as well. Bees from the biological side of view, if we better understand their mating biology, it gets very clear they are highly adaptive. So they can easily adapt to environmental changes if we let them do. And with the critical view on what is going on in modern beekeeping, we may state that very often it's a beekeeper themselves who block certain natural adaptations. So we want to control the mating. We prevent swarming, which makes sense, of course, with regard to honey productivity, but at the same time changes a lot in brood disease development in the hive, because we have long periods without any brood break, while in nature colonies interrupt the brood activity somewhere in the middle of the season. And so there are interesting aspects which can be used to improve our management techniques, always with the goal to improve productivity, but at the same time to come to more nature-like management, which helps bees to be more vital, to better cope with climatic challenges or with diseases like varroa and all those viruses which are in the game, but at the same time to get them better pre-selected for new challenges like Tropilelaps or Vespa velantina or whatever will turn up. And I think this is a fundamental idea in the Bee Guards project, to work on different management concepts. So you have this, what you call innovative and conventional treatment concept. So it's conventional is very clear. Beekeepers know what we speak about. Innovative is, of course, one specific option how we can improve things. So with your innovative concept, you clearly reduce the use of therapeutics, and you rely more on brood interruption and those things, caging of queens. So new technologies, which are practical approaches. So you want to develop methods which can easily be handled by keepers. They should be simple. They should be fast. And this is checked now on a European level, which is really great, with several hundred colonies. So you will get significant results. And what we see so far is that sometimes these how do you say, improved technology? No. But does better than the conventional ones, and that's interesting to see. So very useful research, and you combine it with a question: how does it affect also the selection of bees? So what does it do with the natural selection aspects? And I think this is of high interest for the beekeepers.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's just this nice story that I met you first time in 1990. We invited you and two other young scientists from Germany, because we had some Danish beekeepers that wanted to try to do some varroa-resistance work. And today I have to say I need to acknowledge what their ideas. At that time, we were just not ready, and therefore we called you guys from Germany to present the project and hear your opinion about it. And actually, you were very positive towards it. It kind of ended because we were just not ready. The Beekeeping Society at that time were not ready to kind of working with varroa-resistance. We were so focused on treatments. And today I can really regret that we did not allow and put priority. It could really have been fun if they have continued the project over 30 years. Anyway, I have been following you since then, and you were the leader of the Beekeeping Institute in Kirchhain, and it was really the priority on varroa-resistance that you kept working with, and even I have had periods thinking, come on, it's a dead end. And now, after 30 years, and you're getting into retirement, the Beekeeping Society is really opening up, realizing that we are at a dead end. We have the treatments, but it's a dead end.
Yeah.
And now they're open really to working with varroa-resistance, and it happens on many places scientifically. Yeah. And as you said, in the Beekeeping Society as well. And that's extremely interesting. And also the innovative methods, which is in real life is copy-pasting a brood interrupting period during the season, is certainly adopted by commercial beekeepers, and if it's adopted by commercial beekeepers out there, then that's going to be the thing in the future. Yeah. I'm very sure, and it's really done on the background on very many years of scientific work, buying the different consortiums that you mentioned, Smart Bees, the Eurobest. And other things. So I have to say thanks a lot keeping to it, because it's easy just to give up once in a while.
Yeah, it's true. But I fully understand that when we go back to 1990, we did not know what we know by now.
What we were doing.
And selection takes time. There's often a misunderstanding. And I know beekeepers come then and say, well, when can you deliver the resistant queen? Yeah. And the idea in their head is, once we get this queen, we don't have to change anything in the way how we manage our colony. It's like a truck. We put in this queen, and then we have no more problems with varroa. And this will never act. We have to understand it's more complex. So it also depends on the way how you manage your hive. It goes hand in hand. And in the meantime, this is really great. We had such a big progress in the last few years in our international research. And nowadays, we understand quite well how resistance can work in honeybees. And we know much better about the relevant traits and how to select them. So we could speed up in our selection programs, and we are also developing new tools, genetic markers, and so on. So we have a great future in this. And yes, you can be sure I'm extremely happy to see that after this long period where we were working on this in the research field, it's now the time to get it introduced in the practice. And thank you for inviting me for these seminars which we had the last 2 days. I noticed just the same, that the time is now. So the beekeepers are waiting for innovative solutions. Yeah. And we can offer something. So it's a different situation compared to 30 years ago. And I would be more than happy if I see that beekeepers can profit from what we developed. And as I said, Bee Guards is coming just in the right time to help beekeepers in this. So I'm pretty sure that will change the situation in a positive way. And if in 10 years' time we meet again here in Copenhagen Airport and say, well, it has been a good 10 years, and now we can say, yes, beekeepers do better than they did 10 years ago.
Exactly.
Then my life goal would be fulfilled. So I'm really happy to see this development. And yes.
Yeah, I mean, we're very thankful the last 2 days. It was so positive and so much good energy. And and it was not there 10 years ago, I have to say it. So even the Danes are getting ready to make changes and move forward.
No.
So and I really hope that to keep you connected, and we even have planned already more activities that we can do together.
Yeah.
And we really discuss very intensely how to move the Danish beekeeping community in a way. Yeah. But you also have to tell more happening out there in Germany. You made this varroa project, varroa-resistant project 2033.
Yeah, that's
very ambitious.
It's an interesting movement. I mean, the background is in 23. The leading beekeeper associations in Germany, that means the German Beekeeper Association and Professional Beekeeper Association, but also the breeder association, so Backfass breeders and its AGT and mellifera breeders, they came together and said, well, seeing what is going on in these selection programs and the progress which we achieved so far, and seeing the options in improved colony management, it should be possible to skip any chemical treatment within the next 10 years. So that is the idea. And for the first time, I think, we have this cooperation with a clear goal. And that's what I like. So beekeepers should have a vision, should know what is our recent situation, what are we going to improve, what should we achieve in a certain time. And that's exactly what they did. They said, well, until 2033, we want to be free of chemical treatment against varroa in Germany. And I don't know if they will achieve this. And it doesn't matter if it's 8 years, 10 years, or 15 years, but it's important that they move on. Yeah. And since that time, they have a lot of social interaction. We had several large-scale conferences where experts meet and beekeepers bring in their experience. There are a working group on biotechnical colony management and on breeding and so on. So if you go to the online services homepage, Facebook, etc., you find those activities. And I'm very happy to see that we have similar movements in neighboring countries. So from the beginning, there were colleagues from Poland, for example, or Austria and Switzerland, and it's a very good cooperation. So maybe it's a realistic vision to say, well, we have a European movement in
Yes.
this, yeah. And from the discussion last 2 days here in Denmark, I see it's more or less the same situation. Yeah. Beekeepers are looking for such a way. So let's cooperate. And to be honest, I am absolutely sure from the biological and technical side that the goal can be achieved. We can be free of treatments. Yeah. Until that time, I with my private stock, I didn't treat anymore since 2016. So I'm already 10 years free of. So it can be done. Yeah. The question is, are beekeepers capable and willing to cooperate and to trust each other and to step over conflicts which they have, of course. Everybody thinks he himself is the best, and we have individuals. So it's a sociological project, and we will see how they cooperate. Hopefully they stay together and keep their vision. And then we are on a very good way. And it should be a European way.
But you're totally right. And I just want to make some finished remarks because I'm scared that you're missing your airplane. Because we're sitting here and we have this very nice conversation, and you really promised me
it's time for me to leave.
Next time we meet, I will put a microphone in your head as well. But just a final remark: the Beekeeping Society is ready. You saw at the World Beekeeping Conference, Apimondia in Copenhagen, we had this half day on varroa-resistance, really exciting talks. And it was full. People were rejected at the door. There was simply no more space in the room. And afterwards, at the panel discussion, you could feel the electricity within the room. Yeah. So we are moving in the right direction, and it's really going to be very exciting.
And that gives me a unique chance for first advertisement of Apimondia 2029, which will be the next Apimondia in Europe, and it will happen in Germany, in Leipzig. And it's already clear this varroa-resistance 2033 will be in the focus of this Apimondia, and we are ready to show what we are doing in Germany, and we invite the world to join and to cooperate. So welcome to Leipzig then.
So start already now, putting a little bit of money aside every month.
Yes, okay.
And then they're ready to come to Leipzig. I'm definitely coming, and I'm really looking forward. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Ralph. This was very nice. There are some annoying people in the speakers, and I don't know how to fix that afterwards in our podcast, but I will try to remove it. Yeah. So thanks a lot. Have a safe trip back.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for 2 very, very nice days here in Denmark.
Thank you for your interest and great cooperation. All the best.